on the program at this time. Well, as a lawyer, I'm sure you are aware that Governor Aregbesola says he wants to adopt the parliamentary system of governance and not the federal system for the 31 LCDAs that have just been created. How is this going to work, and what exactly does that mean?
The local government system has been provided for by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, particularly Section 7, and the states are empowered to make laws enabling the creation of local government. So there's no splitting of hair about what the governor has done. The only thing is the procedure will be inchoate until there's an act of the National Assembly recognizing those new creation, and which means we would need to alter the provisions of the Constitution that makes that lists out the local governments, the 768 local governments provided for in the Constitution constituting the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So until that is met, the creation of those local councils will still remain inchoate, but it's within the powers of the state to do what they have done. So there's nothing illegal about it at this stage.
All right, Mr. Hakim, when you say the powers of those LCDAs are inchoate, this is not the first time where LCDAs are being created. We are well aware of the LCDAs that were created in Lagos State in 2004, which actually even led to some legal battles between the Attorney General of the Federation and the Attorney General of the state. Tinkering the Constitution, isn't this coming a little bit too late?
There's nothing late. All they need to do is to take a further step pursuant to Section 8, subsection 6 of the Constitution, to put the document before the National Assembly and then move the National Assembly to recognize those local councils created. Now, the Supreme Court position, the matter went to court between the Attorney General of Lagos State and the Attorney General of the Federation. And my Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, as he then was, Justice Mohammed Lawal Uwais, said there was nothing illegal about the creation of the local councils by Lagos State, except that the procedure is inchoate until an instrument is forwarded to the National Assembly, who would now recognize the creation and amend Section 3, subsection 6 of the Constitution to include the new creation. So there's no splitting of hairs, there's nothing illegal, except that the entire process is incomplete.
All right, then, thank you very much, Mr. Hakim. Let's take a moment now and hear the governor's position on this particular matter.
I am pleased to inform you, therefore, that in place of the old order of only 30 local government areas and an area office, we now have additional 31 local council development areas, LCDA, 3 area councils, and 2 administrative offices in accordance with the request which we democratically placed before us. The management committees of the 30 local council and 1 area office are hereby dissolved, and the executive secretaries, deputy executive secretaries, members, special advisors, and other functionaries removed. In the interim, the entire local government system will be managed by council managers for 3 months. These managers shall be appointed and deployed by Local Government Service Commission from among the substantive grade level 14 officers in the local governments. Many will be wondering and asking, why create more councils at this austere time when there is a huge financial challenge? We have also given sufficient consideration to this. With this new parliamentary system, it will cost less to run the new councils and save a lot of money for the government done in the past.
Well, that's Osun State Governor Rauf Aregbesola talking about his recent move of constituting 31 local council development areas in the state. Well, to shed more light on the matter and to get perhaps another perspective, I'm being joined in our studio right here by Mr. Aregbesola. He is a former LCDA chairman for Ejigbo LCDA, that's here in Lagos State, and the former chief press secretary of the governor of Lagos State. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the program at this time. Osun State has been saddled with a lot of financial troubles in the recent past. You are a former LCDA chairman. How workable do you think this new move by the governor to create 31 new LCDAs, how workable do you think it is, considering the financial murky waters the state is currently wading in?
In the interim, the governor has just told us that there will be no financial implication. And to make sure that happens, he has not put in office any political office holder. What he has done is to use the civil servants to run the newly created LCDAs. That means that the civil servants are already on the payroll of the government, and they will continue to take their salaries from the government without any additional incentives. And so we have not gone to a point where we should be anxious about what it will mean to the state in terms of funds. That may come when we begin to look at those who are going to be elected into those offices. That's when we'll begin to consider that. For now, if it's going to use the administrative officers to run the place, then we can as well assume that what's going to happen is that he has taken into consideration the financial situation and is managing it in the correct manner.
But Mr. Aregbesola, how truthful do you think that statement is when the governor says there will be no financial burden on the state? Previously, the state had 30 local government areas and has struggled with a lot of financial challenges. At this point, the state will then have 61 local government areas and LCDAs altogether. More development, more infrastructure, more development is expected. How truthful is that statement and how possible is it?
The territorial jurisdiction has not been expanded, essentially. The people who used to stay in those communities are still the one there. So essentially, that's what it means when he says that it does not involve or the government is not going to incur any new things. In terms of infrastructures, the same infrastructure that has been provided in the future or in the past and that are already projected to be provided for the communities that will still come there anyway. What you have just had, what is just happening is to further divide the states into smaller constituencies and then to further engage the communities involved to play more role in the governance of the states. I see it more as an administrative measure, and that's basically what LCDs come to perform. They're basically administrative conveniences to enable the states to access or penetrate or expand opportunities for the people to participate in its governing process. So to that extent, I think it's okay, and I think the lawyer has already explained to us that it is legal and it is legitimate. To that extent, so I do not think we have any anxiety, essentially. What we should be expecting is to see how we can devolve more, decentralize more the power in that state. What you are going to get from it is that you are going to find out that the citizens are going to get power, governance moving closer to them, and they themselves taking more interest, more role in how they are governed.
Okay, let's backtrack a little.
Yes.
Creating new LCDAs, does it automatically translate to grassroots development, reaching out to the people in the grassroots, or is it just another avenue for politicians or those who get these offices, civil servants or not, as the case may be, to enrich themselves using the Lagos model as an example?
Yes. It is a major source of bringing development to areas that have been excluded before. Because you find out that the more an area comes into focus by the fact that an administrative point is located within a new constituency, the more it comes into the planning of the states as an area to be given more concentration. Also, the more it is easier for the communities to remobilize them